Hey friends, Jay, Travel by Jay. We're here on our Tuesday episode of Between Departures. I'm your host, Jay, Travel by Jay, and my beautiful co-host, my wife, Soraya. Babe?
Hi everyone, it is Tuesday.
Alrighty, so let's get going here. You know, how was your week? I know my week was kind of, especially last week, a little bit chaotic. How was your
crazy.
week?
It's been busy at work, busy in life. So yeah, it's life be lifing.
Life be lifing. So I know that many of you guys know last week that we had the major snowstorms come through the Northeast, coming from the Midwest, the North Midwest, over as far as the civil unrest that occurred down in Puerto Vallarta last week, which kind of prompted. We've had, we wanted to make sure we toy with this idea, but we wanted to make sure that we give you a peace of mind and give you some good information on things.
In all fairness, is we've had a couple of questions in regards to what if or what to do or
right, and rightfully so. We actually we've had clients that experienced the delays for the flights through the snowstorm. Hey, I experienced it a little bit when I was traveling a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
But also we had some clients that were down in Puerto Vallarta, believe it or not, during that time. They went down for an event, had a wonderful event over the weekend to wake up with the opportunity to get ready to travel home. And ta-da!
Nope. No go.
Mexico had a little surprise for them. Unfortunately, some things occurred down there that caused not only a flight delay, but it was actually
closed down the airport.
Closed the airport and closed the city down. So my question to you is, it's not if, but it's when something happened. But what happened in the event that something like that occur? And not only you're in the country to where you're feeling you're in New York and you get stranded. Okay, great. I can run. You don't get a hotel. Everything is it's just inconvenient. But you're actually in a total different country, and no communication, and things are shut down.
Is it kind of like a WWJD? So what would Jay do?
Oh, I think you said, what would Jesus do?
No,
Jesus would say, okay, let's pray for this. First of all, let's make sure that they're safe first and foremost.
Right. So what would be the first thing most travelers do besides panic?
Panic is the first thing, but we always encourage everybody to make sure they're safe. Believe it or not, I was the first call from our clients, and they said, hey, Jay, this is where we're at. We're trying to get home. What do we do? How do we handle this? Mm-hmm. And, of course, they're there with either, if not hundreds, but, few thousand travelers trying to get in and out of the country, but especially get out, and everybody's panicking, right? This area is known to have a lot of Canadians down there, so now you also have the Canadian nationalists who may have been down there for either their second home or their vacations. Now they're trying to scramble back to Canada as well. And Canada says, by the way, get back. Happening. So now everybody's scrambling.
Yeah, but at this point in time, again, it's like the airport is closed, so it's not like you can do anything. So I believe your first order or, to do would be call your travel advisor and see how you can reschedule yourself out of the situation, or how fast can you do that. Obviously, with having a travel concierge just such as yourself, you tend to have more of a personal one-on-one touch. I saw you myself, on the phone for hours trying to figure things out for your clients. Not just this time, but, at any given point in time. So that's one of the benefits of, hiring a travel concierge. You have answers.
So in this case, they made a call to me, and many parties was down there. Of course, they're on the phone with the airlines. They get in the queue, and it's at least a couple hours if they're lucky. for a callback, we were able to get in line as far as our agent's access to our travel department and our air department during travel, and we were able to actually get them scheduled to come out. This occurred, I think, on Sunday, and we were dealing with this on Monday. We were able to get them flight out as early as Thursday, get them scheduled, because that's where we were in the queue.
Yeah.
Now, there are many people that were not getting scheduled out till that weekend, which is a few days later and or past that. So we were lucky to be able to help take care of that for our clients. But, besides having that at ease with them, giving them a sense of peace, they were able to know that they were safe, the hotel arrangements, they were able to extend their stay and do this. But the biggest thing is they also had their travel insurance, which I always book, and I never do things like that without it, that they're able to get reimbursement for the unforeseen travel or having to stay at the resort, having to stay, in another country or wherever they were. But that was one of the benefits.
Yeah, so travel interruption is part of the travel insurance.
And that's something that, as a concierge, I do that, and I encourage it, and I explain it to them, and I say, this is why I include this. Because many travelers who probably went online, booked the same travel to Mexico, they're just saying that, I won't need that insurance, I'm good, I don't lose my luggage, I got carry-on, yada, 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 whatever excuse not to do that. And guess what? They may have saved, anywhere from, 40 to 80 to $100 a person.
Right.
But look in the long run, what they probably experienced, because this is something that was a little bit disturbing, that one of our clients actually hopped online up on the phone with the airlines, and the airlines was trying to charge them, I'm not going to say the airline, but they were trying to charge them a cancellation and rebooking fee. How in the world do you do that? Because they called some 1-800 number, and that's all they were scripted to do, because if you hit A, it goes to B and goes to C, and that's exactly what they were doing, trying to charge them $400 plus to do this. And I'm like, no, that's not cool, that's not fair. And I'm like, that's not how it works. So we were able to get in there and make all these changes, do whatever they need to do. And we were able to get them on some flights so they were to get back home. So any type of out-of-pocket expenses, we were able to reimburse that. So,
well, we personally
get them reimbursed from their travel insurance, because that's what it's there for. It's not just for show. It's not just for an agent to make money. We don't do things like that. But that's actually to protect your interests, because the world will have plenty of uncertainty while you're traveling.
Yeah.
And having that extra peace of mind, I think that was actually good for them.
Yeah.
So,
as we always say, it's not
if
something goes wrong, it's when something goes wrong, and you should be prepared.
So they're home safely right now. Thank God they got back home safe, and I'm glad they were, and they were able to trust us and know that we were there through the process.
Right.
So I mean that's great. So what are the things that we can talk about? What if and when? That was just one scenario, and
you got the snowstorms as well. God only knows Mother Nature is upset with all of us, and I don't know who made her mad, but whoever did, please apologize. So we have all these crazy snowstorms, or we're coming into springtime. I'm sure the rain and the flooding and all that stuff is coming right by through. Hurricane season is right around the corner. Oh God!
So the crazy part is,
any kind of weather would also be something that would be covered under travel insurance, as well as if you have any health issues yourself. Again, those are all coverages that are that you can find in travel insurance.
We have different things we want to make sure. So I'll tell you like this. I was sitting in the airport to fly back from Atlanta, and guess what? I actually was originally scheduled to have a 5 o'clock flight. But due to the weather, there was a slight delay, and then that slight delay turned into a even longer slight delay. So I did catch my flight that night and got home. However, I'm sitting here, and all the flights, you would think that anything 7 p.m., you should be able to get home or catch your flight.
Right.
Any flights that occurred after 5 p.m., which was my flight, was actually canceled or booked to the next day.
Wow.
So tell me, what happened? Because now we used to have a little bit of protection at the airports, or the airlines would, give you hotel vouchers, they would give you food vouchers, but still there were also exceptions where when it came to Mother Nature, things out of their control that they would not have to, they're not mandatory to reimburse you, plus with a few changes that got rolled back from the federal government.
Right.
But what happens if you're sitting there in the airport? I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to board my flight at 9, and I see a couple comes up, and their flight was supposed to leave like at 10 o'clock. The boarding was at 9, so they come up. Oh, our flight's starting to board now. And guess what? It was for the previous flight, which was ours. So what happens with that couple? No, the couple came after me for their flight, to catch their flight at 9:30, which was their normal scheduled time.
And they didn't cancel it?
They canceled the flight when they came up. They didn't realize the flight was canceled.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
So, first of all, why do you think that happened?
Well, first of all, you need to check with the airline at all given moments, download their apps, get their notifications, do all that stuff so that you can be in the know of what is going on at the airport. And you do need to check that regularly because, again, you can't just go blindly all over the world without.
Trust but verify. and I know it's easier because most of the time things will flow as they should, but knowing the weather around, they made it a pretty big point to let everybody know that there were storms around, and the alerts was going off left and right. Now that couple failed to, as you're checking out for your ticket or purchasing your ticket, it asks you to be notified of updates to your flight. Check the box, put in your text, put in your email. Guess what? There's not a spam thing. It's strictly only coming in relationship to your flight. Right. So I was able to just kind of hang with my family a little bit more because I'm like, oh, my flight's delayed, like an hour. So guys, guess what? I can hang out for another hour. And that was great. I was aware of that.
You have to gather the facts. That's the most important thing.
You have to do that.
And don't always rely on TikTok and Instagram. Unless I guess you're reading the airlines, checked, verified, page, then I wouldn't, listen too much to anything of what anybody else is doing. But yeah, you have to trust but verify, because otherwise this is how, you get lost in translation. Don't rely on rumors. Just check your airlines, check your cruise ship, whatever it is that you're doing. Just make sure that you are verifying all the information and not necessarily just listening to, an influencer in social media.
Think about it. My procrastinator travelers, there's plenty out there. Meaning, I'm going to show up with 5 minutes to spare for everything. So I'm going to give you a quick scenario. However, you're flying out of Atlanta Hartsfield, right? They have multiple terminals. You said, I got 5 minutes. I'm going to get there, and I have 5 minutes to spare, just enough time to use the restroom, grab a bottle of water, or do something.
First of all, anybody who...
And they would sit there, and they changed the terminal on you.
Oh, yeah.
So what if they change your departing gate for you? So now what happens?
You have to have that app so that they can send you a notification.
So that's another 10 minutes for you to get there. And now we're really going to be behind the curve.
Because honestly, anybody who thinks that they can get into Atlanta with 5 minutes to spare is crazy. There is no such thing as 5 minutes to spare. I think you need to give yourself a lot more time, especially when you're going to an airport that's so large, like Dallas-Fort Worth or Atlanta or
Europe,
JFK,
all those guys.
All those airports, you need more than 5 minutes to spare. You need to make sure that you're there, in my opinion, and I know that you and I often disagree on this. I like to be there an hour ahead of time where I can just sit in a lounge or at the gate or whatever and just see the world go by. I'm good.
No, we don't disagree on that because we always go, and I always make sure we have time to go to the lounge at least an hour or so to unwind and relax and check the flight status. That is different. I think the difference is when we used to travel, I knew the routines, I knew everything. You prefer to get there, 6 hours ahead of time.
6 hours.
And I am not. You can't check your bag, folks, till 3 hours ahead. So why would we go 6 hours ahead? But anyway, I digress. But that was the case. Anyway, we get there, we go to the lounges, we hang out, we do our thing. But what happens in the event that you need to be somewhere and your flight suddenly changes? And excuse me if I've kind of reiterated this to you, but this was something that occurred to one of our clients that gives you a real idea of why you have us here. So had some clients traveling abroad, and they were visiting friends or family in Berlin, and they were supposed to fly from there over to Prague to meet some other friends who were traveling. They were just meeting up, and we had it set up that they were going to all meet in Prague for breakfast. Well, I get this lovely call about 2:30 in the morning, and the voice is calm but panicked. And if you could say this, yeah, but I know. So, Jay, we get here. They said we don't have a flight, and we tried to ask the folks here at the counter. They literally walked away from us and said, you booked your flights in the United States, give them a call and we can't help you. And totally left them in disarray. Just left them stranded. So they gave me a call. I was able to reach out to our during travel department, because remember, they were hours ahead of us. And
we're in the future.
I was able to reach out to our department, and within 50 minutes, I was able to get them on the next flight. So they missed breakfast with their friends, but they were able to get there.
They made it just in time for lunch.
And that was an experience, and they were like, we don't know what we would have done if it was here. Had a client who actually got to the resort where they needed to be, and this is a separate trip. And she's like, hey, they don't have my reservation. I showed them my reservation. I showed them my confirmation. They said they didn't have it. Now, granted, the flight was on time. The transportation was in line. But the hotel said they couldn't find their reservation. Again, I made a call. Within 20 minutes, I called her back. She was already signing to check in, because who knows what happened in that hotel. Suddenly they found the reservation that had been there for about 4 months. So these are kind of situations where you need us. I mean, and if anything, be a peace of mind, but to be a direct resource.
Well, an advocate. Because really that is what you would be doing. You would be advocating for your client, and you would be, making sure that they're taken care of. I mean, other than that, if that person didn't have you as their travel concierge, they would have been dealing with that all on their own. And how do you deal with, she had the confirmation, she had the proof, she had everything, and they were like, we can't find it. There's nowhere else you can go from there unless, now you have to spend, your time sitting in the hotel lobby in that heat or whatever, instead of enjoying the pool or the beach or a nice drink. Now you're having to deal with, hey, find my reservation because I know it was made. Yeah. So again, you are an advocate for your clients, and you are able to either help with rebooking situations or just make sure that they get exactly what they paid for, and that's the best thing that anybody can do for themselves is make sure that when they, book a trip, it's least stressful as possible.
Absolutely. Because when you book online, guess what? You hit send, paid, you get your receipt, they're done.
That's it.
They're done. You can try to call them back and see whatever, but they will give you holy heck to try to do anything of pulling teeth. And if it's outside of their script, most of the time they're going to be unable to help you in the sense that you are. But I'm not going to say that it's never helpful.
Of course.
Because, you will meet some people, but guess what? It's going to be a limited scope, and you're going to be treated just as a number. Because if you hang up that phone or get disconnected, even though they ask your phone number, what number they can call you back at, guess what? You're not going to get a call back. They're going to take the next call in the queue and move on.
That's it.
Whereas us, we have that direct connect. In the event that they have to call me back, guess what? I'm getting a direct call back, and I'm not going to get a call back in the middle of, okay, let me take care of the other thing. No, I am that focus. My clients are that focus.
Right.
And that is something about customer service that we believe in providing.
Right.
And, we deal with vendors that's only going to treat you as if, you are that only premier client at that point in time. So we ask that you trust, give us that trust, and know that that's what we're doing on your behalf.
Yeah.
Or whomever you work with. But please consider that.
What is one thing every traveler should do before their next trip after hearing this?
Go back, confirm your reservation, go back and add some type of travel protection for yourself.
Actually, I was thinking more along the lines of calling you so you can deal with it.
Yes, absolutely. Give me a call. That is absolutely great. Do that. I'm here to, some reservations. Say, for example, if you guys already made some reservations, sometimes they can get transferred in. But guess what? I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help provide those services for you.
So what would be the biggest difference then between a stressed traveler and a prepared traveler?
Stressless. And you're able to enjoy your vacation more, or you're going to be more prepared.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of having a travel advisor that can deal with all the stuff so they know that if anything goes bump in the night, they have you there to advocate for them, and they have somebody to go to that really cares. Now,
absolutely.
A stressed traveler is you're on your own, my friend. You got to call that 800 number. You got to do all the, all of those steps all on your own.
Yeah. I've gotten a few calls like that where people, wanted to use me, but everybody, oh my God, the first question is why do I pay you? Why am I going to pay you versus, giving monies to another company? As far as they don't think they're paying.
Well, most people think that Expedia is not a travel agency, and actually they are.
Expedia, Hotwire, Travelocity, Priceline, all these places.
All those are, agencies. It's just the only difference is that with you, they have a personal touch. A customer
service. You have your own personal concierge. Yeah. And my concierge services start from when we're talking about your booking, when you book, to the beginning, the middle, and the end of your travel. Yeah. Until you come home and your vacation is complete, I am your go-to.
That's it. So everybody must remember that the best trips aren't the ones where nothing goes wrong. They are the ones where you are prepared if something goes wrong.
Absolutely. And it's not if, it's but when something goes wrong. And we're not throwing no bad things on Juju, but in the universe, but we all know that things tend to be, go bump in the night, whether they're large or small.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for tuning in this week. We hope that at least that we are able to give you, knowing that there is a way to get your own version of a Linus blanket from Charlie Brown, and that's us for your travel advisors.
That's it.
That we would love to give you a hand. We would love to take care of you from beginning to end and provide that concierge service. Yep. So as we always tell everyone,
travel safe,
Travel often. Travel by Jay.
Bye.
Bye.